It's one thing to have a bird on the fist and to introduce an injured bird to the public. It's quite another thing to be standing at the south lookout or at the north lookout when a little pepper speck appears on the horizon, and that pepper speck transforms itself into an American bald eagle. This is one of the great spectacles of nature, and the fact that we can see it in our Lehigh Valley backyard is just wonderful.
Hawk Mountain was started in 1934 by a woman named Rosalie Edge, and she hired a fellow named Maurice Brune, started chronicling the 16 species of daytime or diurnal raptor that migrate along the Kittatinny Ridge. And because of that, because of his detailed records, we now have the longest standing raptor migration count anywhere in the world.
We, as an organization, are leading several projects worldwide, looking at birds of prey, all different kind of things, migration studies, breeding studies. We're looking at several aspects of the ecology of birds of prey.
All birds have the power of flight. If the habitats aren't right, then they will choose to leave and find areas that are correct. And more specifically, if we look at raptors, when we're creating healthy environments for raptors and birds, we're creating healthy environments for people.
The more people understand about raptors, the more people understand about the ecology of their ecosystems as a whole, the more they can affect change.
There is literally no other organization on the face of the earth that brings bright young conservationists in for essentially conservation training.
We have an international conservation trainee program. 47% of the people that have come through that program have come from places around the world in 76 different countries. More than 65% of the candidates that have come through our trainee program are women. And so not only are we fueling the ranks of conservation and conservation leaders with diverse candidates, but we're also fueling women in science.
They actually have hands-on experience, and at the same time we do a discussion about the latest scientific papers, the book chapters, all those kind of things.
When you're training 400 eager, bright young people and send them back to their country, a whole bunch of them make a real difference back there.
I was an academic intern about 15 years ago. Like many of us trainees, we get hooked with it. It's a very important mission, and then you get to believe in it.
Being at Hawk Mountain is a really amazing experience. Coming from Ghana with a limited scope on how conservation should be carried out, it was a great experience to see how conservation is done in theory and in practice.
The conservation success story that is Hawk Mountain Sanctuary inspires me every day to step up and make a difference in conservation for Zimbabwe.
I think that this traineeship broadens the horizons for young conservationists. It certainly did that for me. It opened up a whole new world to opportunities, introduced me to a wider community of hawk watchers and raptor students and conservationists.
Hawk Mountain is really affecting change worldwide, and so supporting us allows us to reach out more and affect more people. And so yeah, it really is a global organization that people are supporting when they come here.
Hawk Mountain is a global player in raptor conservation, but like all global players, we are at heart a local player.
We do as well go out and talk with landowners, school groups, several events that we can go and share our message. So it's very important not to only do the research, but go out, and the trainees are a big part of that too.
For me, it's really where raptors and people intersect. At Hawk Mountain, I like to look at ourselves as fire starters. We bring in young, excited people. We give them a small ember, and they breathe that into flame. And that flame is the passion of conservation work. And they take that and they carry that back to their own community. And we start all these little fires for conservation work around the globe. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Unless you hear the story from the mouths of our trainees, you don't really get it. Once you do hear the story from their mouths, you'll never forget it.
This is a spectacular place. It never fails to happen on any given Saturday or Sunday is a group of children will approach, and one of them, maybe a 6-year-old, maybe a 16-year-old, will say something along the lines, "I can see the whole world from here." That's literally an eye-opening experience for people, and it really changes their view not only of the Valley, but also of the world.